All praise to the Most High. Sorry, Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. We back at it again with another. Damn, I spelled that wrong. With another Sabbath service. Um, Going back into what we went into 2 weeks ago, dabbling, going back into this video um of this Hebrew Israelites exposed, man. Right? Really going into this and just seeing what they talking about, honestly, man, and dissecting what they talking about, showing how they really ain't talking about nothing. They really just been sifted, to be honest, man. Right? So we going into this for the purpose that anybody that may be new in the truth may not be seduced by these type of videos, and these type of spirits, man, because that's something that does happen. You know, it's a very big thing, right? So we want to make sure that we address these points that are being brought out, the false doctrine, accusations that are being brought out, showing how they don't go into the scriptures and prove anything, but just raise accusations, right? So I want to bring out a precept to open it up with, right? It's the book of Sirach, chapter 3, right? And verse number 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment, right? A lot of people, man, are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion has overthrown their judgment, right? They have an evil suspicion. And then some people, honestly, they don't want to be a new man, right? Let me get this in the book, right, of 1 Corinthians. Right, it's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number, let me see where I want to start at. Right, I'm gonna get this one right here, but this is not the point that I want. This is First Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number 33. And it says what? Be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners. Right? So even when you have evil conversations with people, right, you allow an enticing conversation, enticing doctrines to go in your mind, it corrupts good manners. Hey, it corrupts your mind. Right? Now your mind is against the truth that you've been given. That's why the Lord said this in the book of Romans. You got to be very careful with what you entertain, right? You got to know when to log off. You got to have the log off spirit. You know, you then watching a video, right, and they going into some false doctrine, some false understanding, and you got to log off, right? And you having a conversation with somebody who you think is a friend, and they going wayward off the doctrine, and you got to walk off, right? You got to hang up. You got to log off, man, lest you be enticed by the evil communications, man, right? This is the book of Romans chapter 16 and verse number 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Huh? So you have to avoid these things. You can't give yourself over talking about, yeah, I kind of get that. Hey, if you start saying I kind of get that, you're going to be given over into that, man. So you got to make sure that you shut these things off. Hey, protect your spirit, man. Protect your mind from these things. And don't be afraid to kill off the old man. A lot of the times when people that we deal with that have these type of videos, these Hebrew Israelite exposed videos, they never fully killed the old man, right? Let me try to find that precept. If brother got another precept, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and bring it. I'm trying to find this one real quick before we start the video.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, right? And we are not surprised. You know, these things are going to happen. That's why this is written in the scripture. So we got to remember that salvation in this truth is not for everybody. It's a very small number. You know what I mean? Only 1/3 of our people is actually going to come into this thing and endure until the end. It says, for the time will come, they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. Like the brother was saying, all it takes is one man to get the going off, saying something contrary to what we learn in this truth. And that person, if like, for example, you got brothers out here saying all of a sudden now that you don't got to keep the law. You know, if there's somebody that you follow, somebody that you respected, like me, for example, say I get on here and I go live and I say, well, don't say in the law, thou shalt not smoke weed. And SOZ, hey, we smoke weed. You know how many people would love that, man? those brothers out there that's struggling with smoking weed, right? That's dibbling and dabbling. They'll take a week off, then they smoking again, then they repent. Hey, those brothers, man, they got itching ears. That's all they need is for somebody like me to come on here live and say that to them, right? And it's going to destroy them. It's going to destroy their hearts. It says, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. And a lot of those brothers and sisters, they wax worse and worse, right? They say they left for this reason, and then next thing you know, they teaching a whole nother doctrine. You know what I mean? So we got to be mindful of those things. What the Lord said, but watch thou in all things, endure affliction, do the work of an evangelist, and make full proof of thy ministry. A lot of those men, especially the men, are not occupied. They weren't really doing the work. You understand? So if you really doing the work and you in this thing, right, it's going to be very hard for somebody to turn you away from the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, we got to be mindful of these things and watch out for these things.
I just throw one in there and we can get it started. Isaiah 8:20, it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. We got to understand there is no gray area or dim area. Rather, with the Lord, you're either walking in the light or you in darkness. And it's got to be according to what this Bible say. Not can't have itching ears like the brother brought out or go on to establish your own righteousness. It's got to be by this book. But yeah, you got it, brother.
This is the one I was actually looking at the scripture. It was right above, what I read earlier. This is First Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number 35. But some man will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? Thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened except it die. Right? So, hey, you got to die, man. Right? You can't live until you die. Right? And a lot of our people, man, hey, they don't kill off that, and that's what those like Jonathan was going into. You never put away the weed, right? You always kind of dibbling, dabbling in it. Then somebody tells you, oh, you can smoke it, and you like, oh hell yeah, that's all I needed, and then you all the way in it, and the next thing you know, you done heaped on 7 other spirits on top of the weed, man. Now you're doing shrooms, man. Right? Now you got acid, popping acid on your tongue, man. And you out there, with the exo spirit, with the flashing lights, raving at night, man. Right? These things literally happen, man. Right? All because what? You never killed what needed to be killed, man. Right? So let's go ahead and go back into it. It's the same video. We got a couple other videos pulled as well. Right? It's the same video from 2 weeks ago. We Lord willing, I don't know if we're gonna finish it, but Lord willing we do, and we can move into one of these other videos, man. But it's all through the spirit.
I didn't hear about the GOCC at the time, and everybody else believed in multiple wives, so that's why I was
right. So getting caught up, for anybody who first time watching it, this is a couple who was in the Israelite camps. He was in IUIC. His wife, she was in GOCC. Right. They've made claims against brothers in camps, right, that are not substantiated by the scriptures. He seems to be following his wife.
You know what? Let me grab to more IUIC. Plus, they had more leadership and more order, so-called order, and leadership, and they was very convenient. They damn near the biggest camp, so it went everywhere. So that would lead me to them, and then once I realized.
So real quick, Salaki. So off bat, he joined IUIC for the wrong reason. He basically just said he joined them because it was convenient and they was the biggest camp and they did a lot of traveling and they went a lot of places. And he probably got there and they probably told him, brother, sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You're not traveling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he didn't like that, man.
That and he said that he was against multiple wives, though.
Yeah, that too. And he probably looked from the outside thinking, oh, if I join this camp, you know what I'm saying? I'll do this. And he don't understand the work that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? Like all those brothers, all the things that they had to go through and the learning, the building process in order to get to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of brothers that come in, they don't like the order. They're against the order. Oh, why we got to do all that? They think it's like the Christian church. You just come in and you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's madness, man. And our people, that's the number one thing our people need is order.
Right.
And discipline.
Right.
Lies about the feast days. They trying to force this stuff on. I'm talking about they hammer it down on you like they forcing it. You gotta have your fringes on every day. You gotta have all these things on.
Let me get a precept. So he's mad that they're. He said he joined it for the order, but now he's mad that they're keeping order. You see how a double-minded man is, man, right? Like he's saying that now in the feast days they're trying to make you keep the feast days and they're trying to make you wear your fringes every day, brother. What do you? They're not trying to do anything but this, right? Let me get this precept, man. This is madness. These type of men, effeminate, man, right? Hate reproof, hate instruction, right? This is Leviticus, classic, the law, Leviticus 19:17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt anywise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So they not suffering sin upon your wicked behind, man, by telling you to keep the ordinances that the Lord gave you. And you gonna pull the precept he has right here is Matthew 23, going into the scribes and the Pharisees, right? Being hypocrites. And he don't even know he's cutting himself, because when you read it, it says, whatsoever they bid you, do. Right? This is observe and do. This is Numbers 15:38. It says, speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and they put upon the fringe of the border a ribbon of blue, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Most High and do them, that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye use to go a whoring. So those fringes that they're trying to force you to wear, quote unquote, every day, is to keep your wicked behind from going after your own heart, which is simply, easily to notice is a problem that you have. Let me get one more, right? So since you have a problem with wearing fringes, you got a problem with Christ. Christ wore fringes, man. You hate Christ. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 9, and verse number 20. And it says, and behold, a woman, which was a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years, came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. Now, when you go into that word him, real quick, let me pull it up. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, so people don't think I'm just saying something. Right? You hate Christ, man. Christ wore fringes every day. The hell are you talking about? Right? What does that say? Fringe of a garment. Fringe. Right? A tassel. Tough. The Jews had such appendages attached to their mantles to remind them of the law. In the New Testament, a little appendage hanging down from the edge of the mantle or cloak made with twisted wool. So Christ wore fringes every day, everywhere he went. So you hate Christ. Brothers got it, though.
Yeah, let me, first of all, Proverbs 7:2, the Lord said, keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thy eye, right? So you got a problem with order. He says, oh, they forced me to keep the commandments. They got all this order. First of all, nobody's forcing you to do anything. That's one thing that we don't do. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this real quick in 1 Peter. This 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 2. Feed the flock of God, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof. And you go into that word oversight, so goes into being an overseer. So the Lord set overseers up over you, leaders, captains, officers, to guide you, right? Not by constraint, right? We don't force nobody to be in this truth. Not by constraint, like he said, but willingly. You weren't willing. Not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. So at the end of the day, we don't do this by constraint. That's why we don't allow any brother to just join the camp and to join the body, right? You got to be willing and of a ready mind. You understand? You can't have the mentality of this brother, right? You're going to end up on the outside looking in. And let me get this. And if you get up under a body in this truth, You have to obey the leaders. Let me get this real quick in Second Ezra. Well, at First Ezra. There's a book of First Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 3. And there was a proclamation in all Jewry in Jerusalem to all them that were of the captivity, that they should be gathered together at Jerusalem, and that whosoever met not there within 2 or 3 days, according as the elders that bear rule appointed, their cattle should be seized to the use of the temple, and himself cast out from them that were of the captivity. You will be put out and cast out from your people, man, and all your things taken from you into the temple of the Lord, man, just by not obeying leadership. So our people are out of order people. We don't like order. We are lawless people. And when you come into this truth, we're trying to give you back that thing, give you back laws, commandments, ordinances, right? We give brothers positions and duties to do. We keep you occupied in this thing, right? And you got it, King.
You got something, Jamaica?
Okay. So to add to the brother point, I'm gonna grab this real quick in Hebrews 13, because these people, when they telling you to keep these ordinances, these commandments, they watching for your soul. You know what I'm saying? So it's Hebrews 13 and 17 say, obey them that have rule over you and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. Because it's our duty to tell our people when they're going off and going astray and try to correct them, you know what I'm saying, and bring them back to righteousness. I got one more real quick. So Proverbs 15 and 31, because ultimately the brother just don't want reproof. He don't want to be reproved. He's not trying to hear the stuff. So Proverbs 15 and 31, it says, the ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. And that was the reproof of life. Keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments is going to give you life. You know what I'm saying? But brother don't want to hear that. Verse 32, it says, he that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. And that's why the brother don't have any understanding. All this is coming off as foolishness that's coming out his lips on this video. You know what I'm saying? And verse 33, last verse, it say, the fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. And he got to humble himself, right? And come back, you know, what it's saying, Revelations, come back to the first works, basically. I forgot what it said. But yeah, reproof or instruction is a way of life. I mean, brother just don't want reproof, but yeah, that's it. That's all I got on that.
Yeah, and real quick, Salakia, ultimately he following behind this woman, bro. And this just came to my mind. Hold on. Sirach 19. That's what it boils down. From my observation, that's what I'm getting from this. This is Sirach chapter 19 and verse 2. Wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, man. So the Lord told you that, man. Right? A woman will make your understanding to fall away, man. Right? I remember on that the last time we was watching the man, the brother was just smiling and gazing in our eyes, man. And bro, go ahead, you got it, King.
Oh man, this is the law. This is Exodus 22 and verse 28. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Right? So this is the word revile in the law, right? It's what? To be slight, be abated, to be swift, to be trifling, be of little account, right? To make despicable, to curse, to make light, right? To treat with contempt, to bring contempt or dishonor, right? So you're not supposed to dishonor the gods. Now, who are the gods, right? Is it talking about the Most High? No. Rulers. You're rulers, right? Works or special positions of God, right? So it's talking about the people the Lord sets over you, man. Your judges, man. Your captains, your officers, right? If you got bishops and deacons or whatever positions you have, man, right? That's in the law. That if you are in the midst of a camp, that you are not supposed to revile your rulers, make light, to dishonor. Gotta deal with it, man. Right? Go back to it. Unless brothers got something else. Come on.
Every single day. I remember I asked one dude, I said, bro, you gotta have friends on every day. He was like, yeah, bro, you gotta have them on every day. Even when you take a shower, he like when you take off your shirt in
So
the
like,
shower, take a shower, put the
so like,
fringes back on. That's how
so like, I thought he was about to say so. He called us. I'm about to say he lying, bro. he going too far, man. No
Yeah.
brother teaches you got to get in the shower with your friends on. He said when you take a shower, you got to take them off, get out the shower, and then put them back on. Brother's simple, man. Brother's simple, man.
Very simple. And he ain't want to. He don't want. He wanted to stay wicked. You know, stony ground, man.
Well, that's a picture of him with his fringes on.
They don't look like the same brother, but I believe so.
They don't. Oh, okay.
Like it could be him. Yeah, it's him.
Look like he just put a little weight on.
Yeah.
Grew his hair out.
Yeah, he was growing it right here. It just ain't. It grew longer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's him.
Look. Let me get this real quick. This is basic. This is one of the first things you learn in this, right? This is one of the easiest commandments to keep, right? You don't have to fast. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to call brothers, tell them pray for you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to confess to brothers, I'm struggling with putting my fringes on. This is a simple commandment that's gonna show whether or not you want to serve the Most High or not. This is obedience, right? This is Numbers 15 and 38. Speak unto the children. So he's upset because brothers is doing what God commanded us to do. The Lord says, speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generation. He's blaming IUIC. Brother, you don't believe in the Most High. The Most High told those brothers to bid our people to make them fringes in the border of their garments throughout their generation. We got to wear them every day. And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue, and it shall be unto you for a fringe that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them. Yes, brother, you got to do this thing. And that ye seek not after your own heart in your own eyes, after which you used to go a horn. And this is spiritual, because that's exactly what's happening. The brother didn't want to wear his fringes. He took his fringes off, and now his understanding is gone, man. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to you're supposed to look down on your fringes. When that woman get to talking, you're supposed to just let her talk, look at your fringes, look back up and say, shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Then he's supposed to go to Numbers 15 and 38 and bring it out. But whining women making men to fall away from their understanding, man.
Come on. This is Proverbs 26 and verse 10. The great power that formed all things both rewarded the fool and rewarded the transgressors. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. Right? That's pretty plain. I don't got to break his head down. We seeing it, right? And it said it from the beginning because he rewarded transgressor. The brother he was staying in transgression. He wanted to stay in transgression. Right? So the Lord allowed him to return to his own vomit, man. Right? Return to his folly.
It was really military style. So, and I actually believed it. I actually believed that, I wear my fringes every day, yo. I had shirts with the fringes every day. I'm talking about every day, man. I went to the store, bought me, I bought a pack of muscle shirts. Then I took them to the sewing store, got the fringes from Hobby Lobby, took them, got them sewed on for like, $50, $60. I said, okay, put the fringes on, and it's not hard to do it, you know what I'm saying? So I was keeping it according to my belief and according to my conscience. So, of course, with the no eating pork and all that, so I didn't eat pork, I didn't eat shrimp, I didn't eat nothing that the Torah said by conscience sake for a whole year and a half straight.
I peeped how he said I didn't, not I don't.
Right. He eating it now.
That's why he look fat. He got pork seeping through his jaws, man. See? Return to his own vomit, man. Return to his folly.
Man.
A whole year and a half straight. So I'm talking about
Like a year and a half is a long time.
And it's all about obedience and disobedience in this truth. This brother is disobedient, man. That's his part. He's rebellious, bro.
That's
So-
it. He's rebellious.
So he came into the truth for the wrong reasons. First of all, he saw something, and a lot of brothers do this, man. You know what I'm saying? They want to be a part of something. It's not because you're seeking out the Yahushua, you're seeking the Lord, and that spirit was chosen from the beginning. That's why you see brothers come and go in this thing.
Yep.
Only a few is going to endure into the end, man. Let me get this real quick in Acts chapter 5. And the brother, he don't have the spirit, man. And if he had it, it's left him, man. Brother wasn't praying, and brothers got to pray, and we all got to pray that the Lord take not the Holy Spirit from us.
Gone.
This is Acts chapter 5 and verse 32. And it reads, and we are his witnesses of these things, and so is also the Holy Spirit, whom the Most High had given to them that obey him. Right? This brother is upset about, I can't eat pork no more. He came into the truth. I don't know what he thought was going to happen when he went to IOIC. I guess he thought it was going to be like the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? It's madness, man. This Romans chapter 2 and verse 8. It says, let me just start at 8. But unto them that are contentious and do not obey the truth. He don't want to obey the truth. But obey unrighteousness, eating pork, not wearing your fringes, following your woman. Indignation and wrath, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, man. That's evil unto the Lord, man. You can't expect salvation in the day of evil, man, with that mentality.
Let me get this. Let me get a couple. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and in sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. The point is, right, the Lord got on Adam for hearkening unto his wife, right? Your job is not to hearken and be led by your wife and her emotions. Your job is to be the head, right? You supposed to set things in order. You supposed to make things upright, right? Adam wasn't deceived. Eve was, man. And you damn following the person that was deceived. So what you think you being? Deceived, man. All because you weak. And the brother said it right. I had the same word. I was about to say the same word out my mouth when he said it. Just rebellious. You rebellious. You was already rebellious. So the moment you met a rebellious woman that was going to teach you to rebel, and you fell right into her hands, man. It's just like Ahab and Jezebel. Ahab was already off, but then he had a wife that was off as well that he consorted to that only made things worse, right? And what happened to Ahab, man? Let me get that real quick, right? Go to the book of 1 Kings, right? This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 21, right? And verse number 19. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Most High, in the place where the dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall the dogs lick thy blood, even thine. And Ahab said unto Elijah, hast thou found me, O mine enemy? This is what this man is saying to the Lord of the Most High. I mean, the servant of the Most High, right? And this is what he's literally saying about the camps and the leaders that have set forth this understanding that he once had. He's literally saying, you are my enemy. He called Bishop Nathaniel a false prophet without any proof of this man being a false prophet. He's made this man an enemy, right? He's literally having the same spirit. Have thou found me, thine enemy? That's his spirit. That he has a contrary spirit. He has a satanic spirit on him, a devil on him. So what? The righteous is the enemy of him. That's what that means, right? So it says, what? Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Most High, right? He sold himself to work evil. What happened, right? He literally was already in idolatry, but then he consorted to his wife and allowed his wife to do things, and he followed behind it in the killing of Naboth just to take his vineyard, man. And it says what? Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that shut up and left in Israel. And I will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha and the son of Hajjah. It's a lot. And son of Hajjah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger and made Israel to sin. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Right? Hey, look, man, you following this wicked woman, right? You're gonna get the same type of judgment as Ahab did, and she gonna get the same type of judgment as Jezebel. And I don't care that Jezebel was a Hamite, right? It does not matter. It's not about that, right? It's literally about the wicked spirit contrary to the Most High God that a person is walking in, and he is following behind that the same way that Ahab did, man. Right? Let me get one more, right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, and verse number 25. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat. Right? So when you got a proud heart, as you can see this brother already had, right? Rebellious, proud, rebellious, same thing, right? You're going to stir up strife, right? You're going to ask questions when you have no business. So I really got to wear fringes every day, brother. What did we just read? What did we just read? Why you got to ask that question when the scriptures tell you got to wear them every day, right? That's that proud heart stirring up strife. You're asking a question that you don't even need to ask. I never asked that question. I never once said, so I got to wear them every day. I heard the scripture and I knew what it meant. And I understood it. And it says what? Verse 26, he that in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely shall be delivered. Right? And it's very plain and clear to see that this man, right, he trusts in his own heart. Matter of fact, to line up with that, let me get one more. Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 25. Right? It says, no, it's not it. So like Proverbs 14 and 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death, man. Plain.
I got one more.
Go ahead, King.
This is First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 26. Many men have lost their minds because of, I had to get this translated because I like the way it's worded. Many men have lost their minds because of women and have become slaves because of them. Damn. Many have perished or stumbled or sinned because of women. And now do you not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all lands fear to touch him? Yet I have seen him with Apami, the king's concubine, the daughter of the illustrious Bartacus. She would sit at the king's right hand and take the crown from the king's head and put it on her own head and slap the king with her left hand. This is madness, man. At this, the king would gaze at her with mouth agape, like the dude, like he was doing in the beginning of the video, man. Last time we was on here. If she smiles at him, he laughs. If she loses her temper with him, he flatters her that she may be reconciled to him. You see what I'm saying? Gentlemen, why are not women strong since they do such things, man? You would think the woman was that the man was the weaker vessel. If you watch couples like this, man, right? So, you know, don't let Eve take your crown off your head and put it on her head, man. Sit in your seat, man. Hey, I seen a video. You know how, you know what I'm saying? Jake had his whole family come in, and brother was crying. He was shaking. He was going like this. He had to pull the ring out. Everybody, Jake get down on his knee, man. Just pop the ring up, man. And she crying. Brother, that's idolatry. Brother, you bound down to the woman, man. On one knee, man. I mean, Jake is just, he can't stop. He's shaking. The ring about to fall out his hand, man. He tried to get it on her finger, man. Well, that's off, man. That's off, man. Our people, we love the ways of the heathen, man. We have been, you know what I'm saying, mentally destroyed, man, to where now we can't even accept the things that are written in the Bible, man, the way the things should be. And that's what the Israelites in the camps are trying to do, set the thing. And the Lord said that in Psalms 50 and 21. He's going to set them in order before their eyes, man. And that's what's happening. So some brothers that's contrary to that, when they come in, as soon as they see order, oh no, oh man. You know what I'm saying? So, and then to be making a video, it's, you know, some brothers, they do that and they just go about their business. You better off that way. But
Yep.
to, you know, because now you speaking against the Lord and the truth, man. And you're making yourself an enemy to the Most High. But you
Has
got
thou found me thy enemy? Has thou, you see what I'm saying? That's why I pulled that precept. Has thou found me in my old mine enemy, man? You made yourself an enemy.
Hey, what translation that was? That's a spirit. I was just about to go there, but I ain't never read it like that.
That
Talking about they
GNT
done is what?
sound like a GNT.
Talking about they done lost their minds. But nah, I got one real quick, then we can get it going. And we bring this out so many times, but it. Oh, go ahead.
So like it's the RSVA, but I think it says in GNT, I think it says mines too in GNT. But the one I just read is the RSVA.
Okay. So okay, so this what I'm about to bring out. We bring it out all the time. Damn near every other count. You know what I'm saying? But this directly applies to this brother in this video, right? So Isaiah 30 and 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Like, yeah, he heard it for a time or for a season, but soon as, you know, like you said, like a precept brother brought out, having the itching ear, as soon as he hears something, you know, contrary to what he was already feeling on in his spirit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, okay, I'm gonna go with that move, right? So verse 10, which say to seers, see not. And that's ultimately what they're doing. They're making this video to try to, you know, so-called expose Hebrew Israelites and snatch the people up out of it. Like, hey man, that's not the way. Saying to the people that already see this is the way, like, now don't deal with that, right? Would say to seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. And that's ultimately, he didn't want to, like I said, he didn't want to take no type of reproof from IUIC. He didn't want to hear that stuff. Like, prophesy not unto us that, you know, he wanted to hear these smooth things that he getting from GOCC with the woman named Wisdom. He getting all his wisdom from over there. You know what I'm saying? So that I feel like that pretty much sums up that, brother. The rebellion, lying, straight, just flat out lying, especially what he said about what his name is, Bishop Nathaniel or whatnot, as well as will not hear the law of the Lord. So yeah, you got it, brother.
And trying to attend the feasts and the Sabbath days, but then I realized they was too military strict, and then that's when I started moving to other counts, to HOI, to Sakari, AOC, all these other counts, and then come to realize, I'm like, bro, all y'all teach the same thing. You know what I'm saying? All y'all teach the same.
It's the book, 1 Corinthians. You know, this doesn't make sense. This is absolute madness. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
Thing, and it just
So like you, bro. Let's go to the law, bro. Hold on. Israelites are too militant. Let me go over here to HOI and Sakar. I realize they all the same thing. This is Deuteronomy chapter 1. And brother, you need a military. You're very weak.
Effeminate.
Right? You need an army of men. This is what do you think a camp is? What do you think we got that from? You think, brother, just a camp is a military? What do you think Israel is? We are army. Right? Then the Lord said they shall stand on their feet as an exceedingly great army. When the nations see us, they're going to see an exceedingly great army. This is Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 15. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, captains over hundreds, and captains over 50s, captains over 10s, and officers among your tribe. Where do you think Esau get that from? His military from? Why do you think all these nations have any type of order and structure? Their governments, right? They got it from Israel, from the Bible, because that's righteousness and that's order in the Most High. These laws that brothers are trying to teach you, God said that's your wisdom and your knowledge in the sight of the nations. That's why when they see you, they see, look at this nigga, man, because you out of order, and you against the order that the Lord is trying to give us back. So you actually against the order of the Most High in your nation. This is our way out of here. This is verse 16. And I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren and judge righteously between every man and his brother and the stranger that is with him. Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be. This is our own. We have Esau has judges. You go to his court system, right? You got his different sects of the military. We have the same thing. We have judges. We have captains and leaders, right? There's different offices for brothers in position that brothers gotta have and hold, right? But that's it on that, man.
Let me get a precept on that real quick, on order real quick, man.
God.
Right. Let's go to the book of Numbers. Right, it's the book of Numbers, chapter 4. Right, in verse. So I'll show you how particular the Lord is about order. Right, it's the book of Numbers, chapter 4. Right, in verse number 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying unto Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, after their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation about the most holy things. And when the camp set it forward, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it, and shall put thereon the covering of the badger skin, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put the staves thereof. And the table of showbread, they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes and spoons and bowls and covers, and cover withal the continual bread, and shall be thereon. Just showing you how particular the Lord is when it comes to order, man. He's particular about it, right? To the point where all priests didn't even have the same duty, man. Certain priests had to do certain things, man. Right? Let me get this in the book of Luke, real quick, man. Right? That's how particular the Lord is about order, right? And you hate order because you ultimately hate the Lord, man. You can't love the Lord and you despise order, right? This is the book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse number 9. And it says, according to the custom, matter of fact, let me read who it's talking about, right? It's the book of Luke chapter 1 and verse 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abiah, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron. Her name was Elizabeth. So now I'm jumping down to verse number 8. And it came to pass that while he executed the priest's office before the Most High in the order of his course, right? So he had a specific duty in the order of his course that he had to abide in, right? He had to follow that manner of order. And it says what? According to the custom of the priest's office, his lot was to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Most High. Could somebody else go burn that incense besides Zacharias? No, they would die. So when you try to break the Most High's order, when you try to move outside of the Most High's order, and every brother and sister need to examine this, because a lot of people in Israel, y'all got a problem with order, men and women. When you try to break the order the Most High set up, you are going against the Most High. And in the old world, you would die immediately. What happened to Uzzah when he touched the damn Ark of the Covenant trying to keep it up, man? And he thought he was doing a good thing. He tried to keep it from falling, and the Lord killed him because he was out of order for touching it. And you mad that we are replicating the Lord's order? You're despicable. Go ahead, King.
Real quick, you made me think. This is 1 Kings chapter 10 and verse 1. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices, and very much gold and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all of Solomon's wisdom and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants. So she came in and she said, these Israelites, these niggas in order, man. She seen the servants, how they sat at the table. So King Solomon had order. And you can sit where you wanted to sit. Hey, some Jake's got a problem with that. Jake got that, oh, can nobody tell me nothing? I'm a grown ass man. That's what Jake be saying the truth. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man, right? Grown men follow order, man, right? It says, and the sitting of his servants and the attendance of his ministers, man, right? And because they out of order, man. She probably couldn't get, you know what I'm saying? No, Jake, you can't get too many Jakes to show up on time at the same place, man, right? It says, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up into the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in mine own land of the acts of and of thy wisdom. So the wisdom is not talking about all him being able to answer all her questions as far as having knowledge, but that wisdom, remember, we said earlier, the Lord said in the law, our wisdom and not the laws and commandments and the order is our wisdom and knowledge in the sight of the nation. So she went on to mention the meat, the food that they ate, no unclean food they was eating. The service was in order. Everybody sit where they were assigned to sit, right? The apparel that they wore, right? Everybody had the same thing on. These men wore this. The priests wore this, right? The women wore this. Let me get another precept real quick. Just dealing with that. And let me find this. I think it's 2 Samuel 18. So like you bear with me. 18 and what am I looking for? 13, Salaki, 13 and 18. This is 2 Samuel chapter 13 and 18. I'm going to start at 17. Then he called his servant that ministered unto him and said, put now this woman out from me and bolt the door after her. And she had a garment of diverse colors upon her, for with such robes were the king's daughters that were virgins apparel. So the king's daughter, they wore certain apparel so everybody know these are the king's daughters and they are virgins, man. That's order, right? They had uniforms that they wore. Then his servants brought her out and bolted the door after her. So the point is, even the women would wear certain things. Hey, certain colors, man, you would wear. Certain men only wore certain colors, man. The top men wore those and back in the day, purple, that scarlet, those are royal colors that were very expensive, man. Right? Like today, brothers wearing down Gucci, and that's what those colors meant back in that day, man. As far as value, but you got it, King.
Con, go back to it, man. That's litany of precepts on order, and order is a form of militance. Militance and order go hand in hand. So he's they're so militant. You're like, brother, that's order.
Point. I just started crying out to the Most High more about that, and then eventually He revealed the gospel to me. And I realized that we was the Pharisees. And we was playing the role of the Pharisees in the word. But
And this is how we know the Most High revealed nothing to you. Because were all the Pharisees bad? Right? Was Paul not a Pharisee? Right? Was Nicodemus not a Pharisee? See, that's that Christian mindset. That's what Christians say, right? They say, oh, that's a Pharisee. That's a Pharisee, right? Well, all Pharisees wasn't bad. The only Pharisees that was bad is a hypocrite. How can you call any of these men? What did you see Bishop Nathaniel teach that he doesn't do? What account do you have on that matter? What account do you have of Bishop Nathaniel being a hypocrite? Right? What account? And we know the brothers, in one of these camps up here, they teach some off doctrine, right? But I haven't seen one of those brothers, teach something and not abide by it for me to call them a hypocrite. Even the things they teach now that's off, they abiding in what they teaching. You know what I'm saying? So who are you to call anybody a Pharisee because you were being a hypocrite? Because you ain't changed yet. Because you were wearing fringes and still being wicked. But you're going to put that on them.
Is there something you want to say?
Yeah, and that's what you just said. Finding out there was the Pharisees. I realized they was really putting us in bondage. You know what I'm saying? Because while I was doing all that stuff, trying to keep feast days, Sabbath days.
Salakia.
So keeping this. Go ahead, King.
So we might as well get it because some people watching might not understand what we're talking about. So she said when we realized they were the Pharisees. Let's and you just broke it down, but let's just read it because there's only being a Pharisee, them being Pharisees. The problem with that was the hypocrisy. It wasn't what they were teaching. This is Matthew. These are the words of Yahushua. This is Matthew 23:1. Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you, observe. That observe and do. Whatever the Pharisees are teaching you to do it, right? They were teaching the laws of the Most High. Yahushua didn't speak against that. He didn't say, oh, don't keep the law. That's what they want to see. That's what Christianity teach. The law is done away with. You don't got to keep the commandment. Just have faith. That's not what Christ said. Christ said, whatever the Pharisees why would he tell them to do and observe what the Pharisees were teaching? But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So they telling you to keep the feast, even if they wasn't doing it. If they're telling you to keep the feast days, Christ said, do it. You acknowledging that they Pharisees. Christ said you should observe and do it, not say, oh, they Pharisees. Oh, they trying to make us keep feast days. Don't do it. No, you're being disobedient to Christ now, according to what you're saying. For they say and do not, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers, meaning they're not doing what they're saying. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. And they probably was reading that. Oh, I still got the garments. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's talking about. That's them right there. And love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats and the synagogue. So there are upper rooms and there's different. When you go to these different places for the feast, everybody can't sit at the table. We're a large nation. So there are seats for men, and these men, they're only doing that because they want to be seen of men, and they're doing it for these seats. Not saying that it's wrong to do it. It's just saying don't do it for the wrong reasons. Don't be a hypocrite, right? That's what he was teaching. So the things that they're saying it's contrary to the Bible, and that's why no scriptures is coming out. It's just two Christians talking and giving their opinion about Hebrew Israelites, man. That's what I'm getting from this.
Con, this is the book of Philippians chapter 3 and verse 5, because you said to get it. It's Philippians 3 and verse 5. Circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee. So that's Paul speaking. So Paul was a Pharisee. Are you telling me that it's unrighteous to be like Paul? That's what you telling me, right? Because you would love to. I'll venture to say they will go right to Paul to try to justify them not keeping the commandments that they're not keeping now, right? So how do we deal with that? How do we deal with Paul being a Pharisee, right? And Paul going to get the kingdom. Paul knew all things as a Pharisee, right? So how do we deal with that, right? His sister said that keeping the Sabbath day was bondage, right? Let me get this. I gotta get that, right? I gotta touch on that. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 4, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 1. I'm gonna read. It's a lot on it, but I'm gonna read it. It doesn't matter. Let us therefore fear lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. That's talking about people like this, right? For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. Understand, this eternal rest and the Sabbath day, they go together. The Sabbath day is a foreshadowing of our eternal rest to come. So when you don't partake in what the Lord has literally given you of a foreshadowing of the rest he's going to give us, what are you saying? I don't believe, I don't want that rest. You say, I don't want your rest, Lord. I'm better than your rest, right? So it says what? Verse 5, for he spake in a certain place of the seventh day. That's how you know. Listen, I'm going to read it again. That's how you know the Sabbath day is a foreshadowing. Read it again. Verse 3, for which have believed do enter into rest. Let's talk about the eternal rest. As he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and the Most High did rest on the seventh day from all his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest. Do you see how they go together? The Sabbath day and the kingdom. So you are telling the Lord that the foreshadowing of the kingdom is bondage. You don't want it. See, that is off, right? Brother's got it. Brother's got another precept to bring it out.
Bring out a common one again. It's Romans 7:12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. Was then that which is good made deaf unto you? God unto me, God forbid. And it's like when you try to put these things that the Lord set up, you know what I'm saying, this order that the Lord set up as bondage. That's what you're trying to say, that this stuff is grievous unto you. It's made deaf unto you. You know what I'm saying? You can't bear it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's plain. Like it says it's holy and just and good, right? And the good thing can't be made deaf unto you. It should be a simple thing to be able to carry out these things for the Most High God, right? But a lot of people, of course, don't want to change. They want to do what they want to do. They want to what you call it? Damn, I forgot. The brother brought it out earlier, but nonetheless, let me grab this other one. Another plain one. It's 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. It shouldn't be a hard thing. It shouldn't be pulling teeth. You shouldn't be trying to, buck up against it. Like, this is what the Lord told us to do, therefore we should do it. It's just that plain. But yeah, you got it, brother.
I got one more, bro. I gotta bring this up. This is 2 Peter 2:16, the classic, but we normally read 16, and I'm gonna keep reading. But was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumbass, speaking with man's voice, forbade the madness of the prophet. These are wells without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the midst of darkness is reserved forever. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, just like they doing, they allure through the lust of the flesh, right? Meaning what? They don't want to kill the flesh. They want to please their flesh. That's why they so much against camps, right? Through much wantonness, those that were clean escape from them who live in error. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For whom a man is overcome, of the same is he brought into bondage. Right? So the brother's he's confused, man.
Con. Really, you should read on. get the judgment on that. You should go and hit 20.
Yeah, for for if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Hamashiach Yahushua, they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse with them than the beginning, man.
That's man. May the Lord have
That
mercy
don't
on
need
me.
no breakdown. That's plain.
Exactly. May the Lord have mercy on me to never take the spirit away from me, man. I don't want no parts of that, man. Right. Matter of fact, just touching on that real quick, man. Let me grab this precept in Hebrews. Just touching on that. Right. It's the book of Hebrews, right? Chapter 2 and verse number 3. It says, matter of fact, I'm starting at 1. Therefore, we ought to give more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just recompense or reward, how shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation, which at first began to be spoken by the Lord and was confirmed unto us by them that heard him? Man. You neglecting a great salvation, man. Right? Yeah, we ain't gonna never finish this video.
I was still battling with my flesh. I'm still battling, I'm still battling with depression. I'm still battling with just feeling
So let me just let it play.
alone. I'm still like,
I'll have you going into that because that's so key. It's so key because this is stuff I'm gonna finish with. It's so key to know this is the main things that we gotta get cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? These are the main things that we need to be focused on. And I'm just happy you're going into that because that's so key.
Yes, I was still battling with it. I wasn't keeping it right. I would see on Instagram, you would have certain people keeping the feast days.
What does it have to do with anything? I deal with depression. I battle depression. So what? It ain't going nowhere. I have to endure it. I'm gonna have to keep dealing with the depression. You think not keeping the commandments gonna help you with depression? You blaming the order and keeping the commandments on your depression? Maybe that's why you're depressed.
She said that she was still battling the flesh. So really what she was saying was I just want to give in to my flesh. I don't want to battle it.
Yeah,
that's really what
the
she's
law
saying.
It's supposed to help you defeat it. That's the difference. Without
she's saying I feel better now because I'm not battling my flesh anymore. I'm not depressed
because she don't have to deal. She don't have to deal with the guilt.
Exactly. That's what she's saying. She
I can freely sin.
Exactly. That's what she's saying.
You don't have to worry about not getting the kingdom of heaven.
Exactly. I can go freak off in the night. Yeah, he got to be careful with a wife like that while he playing. While he playing games, playing games. Hey, she gonna go freak off in the night on you, man. Like this brother is off, man. Like off. I'm so glad you went in. He sounded feminine when he said it. I'm so glad you went into that. You know what I'm saying? Like off, right? Look, we're gonna move on from that video because we short on time. I want to get start on this other video real quick. Because I know, bro, we got to get ready to get to camp. So let me share my screen. We only got to spend no more time on them. They're finished. All right. Let's get this one.
I'm going to expose this Hebrew Israelite group by showing you how they contradict themselves. Now, this is the number one reason I'd never join. You shouldn't too. And why, if you are in this group right now, you should leave immediately. I'm going to show you the leader of this group recently reviewing his own conversation from a few years back. So watch how he explains to you what it means to be justified.
Listen. Here's what being justified means. Meaning Christ is going to say, these are my disciples. He's going to speak for them before the Most High, meaning you're not going to be exempt from judgment. You're going to get the white stone.
So you heard him say justification before God means you are a disciple, you will receive a white stone, and he said that you will be exempt from judgment. You heard him say that, right? And it's important you remember this until the end of the video, because this will come back to bite him later, especially because of the verse he uses to explain what being justified actually means. Because as he continues, he starts speaking about how faith is important to be justified, but how works are important too. And he quotes the common phrase, faith without works is dead. And this is where the man he is speaking to chimes in. So let's listen to what he says. It's a bit muffled, but he said, James is speaking about the quality of your faith. So this is where Gorilla Hebrew, as he calls himself, asked him a question to give what he thinks is a lifeline to the man, but actually buries the Hebrew Israelite group deeper, as I'll show you later on. Let's take a listen to what he asks him.
Okay, I get it, but you also have to have works too, right?
No! He can't believe it, as you can see in the original video, and requests his reader to go to James chapter 2, which we can talk about in a moment, but he even paused the video on the live reaction to start attacking Christians. Let's listen.
No! Christianity is a child molester's religion. Christianity is a murderer's religion. Christianity is an adulterer's religion. Christianity is a thief's religion, because you don't have to have works.
Now, today's video isn't about this. I'll continue showing you how he exposes himself in a moment, but let's take a 20-second time out to deal with what he just said, because it was so off. This is what we call a straw man, which is arguing against something the person didn't say or didn't mean, because I do not believe the man was speaking about not doing works as a Christian, but he was speaking in the context of...
How are you going to speak? How in the hell are you going to say that this is not what he... That is what he's saying. He's saying that you don't got to keep the commandments. This is what he's saying. How are you going to say, I don't believe he was... So you can defend his stance, but when it comes down to the Gorilla Hebrew stance, there's no defense there. He's just wrong. He's just off. Right, but he's reading the Bible, and the other individual, nor you, he has what? We 2 minutes and 16 seconds in, and he has not brought out one Bible scripture. He's just talking commentary.
Bro, I'm saying like that. Basically, you know, it doesn't matter what you do with them. You know what I'm saying? Whether they got a platform by themselves or it's a dialogue. He has not made one single. He's been all over the place within these 2 minutes. Ain't proved nothing.
It's crazy, man.
You can't keep them fixated on one point, bro. Just prove your point, then move on to the next one. Like, leave.
And Gorilla Hebrew, he not wrong for what he said. Faith without works is dead. Right. And justification, the justification it does represent you getting into the kingdom. That's what it represents. You're not going to be justified by works alone. You won't get the kingdom by works alone. You're not going to be justified by faith alone. You're not going to get the kingdom with faith alone. So what was wrong about what he said?
He said that Christianity is a religion for molesters and things like that. That's what he mad about. That's what he mad about right there.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's true. You know, adulterers. Everybody know what they do. What they do in these what these pastors be doing. How they be sleeping with the deacon's wife and the members' wives and all kind of shit, man. They be going on in these churches, man. Right, but we'll have to pick up on it. Next week we'll finish this little series out and then move back on to regular classes, regular Sabbath classes. You know, we take a break from regular Sabbath classes to tap into these as another form of edification. Somewhat a little bit more entertaining form of edification. So Lord willing, everybody has a beautiful Shabbat service. Hey, Jamaica, not Jamaica, Jonathan, you on here? I'm trying to see where y'all gonna be at so we can announce it. Nah, he better might have stepped out. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna be in on our drive, man. 8255 International Drive.
And we're gonna be back in Discovery Green.
If you're in the Orlando area, we're gonna be on International Drive, particularly in front of Charlie's Steakhouse, in front of the big Ferris wheel on our drive.
And we gonna be back at Discovery Green as usual, 4 p.m. Atlanta is actually out there in Orlando, so if you're in Atlanta, they won't be out at the Ferris wheel this week. They'll be out there in Orlando, right? So, Lord willing, y'all have a mighty and beautiful Shabbat. We love you, Israel. Till next week. Ashar Shabbat. Shalom.
Oh, real quick, bro.
Go ahead.
I don't know if one of y'all want to drop y'all email or something, because I see people be posting questions up in here while we doing these live reactions. It's like we can't really get to it in the video, so it's like y'all could like send in y'all questions or something like that.
Yeah, so if you got questions, most people do this. They always hit the email. Our email is in the description. And I try to do that at night before I go to bed. I answer a lot of questions on the email. So if you got questions, hit the email up. And brothers will get back to you as soon as possible. But our email is in the description. It's always in the description. You're gonna see our email in there. So
All right. So yeah, that's how we answer questions. Sometimes we if we see them, we'll try to address them on here, but typically we try to stay and focused on what we're doing. Right. So definitely hit up the email that's in the description. Right. So Shalom, Israel. We love y'all.
Shalom.